Morning. Just finishing up my usual Wednesday morning run before I head back into the group for breakfast and group. Um, just thought I'd share some more desert reflections of this beautiful view behind me that I'm getting to enjoy down into the valley, and then just finishing running up this amazing canyon up here on the other side. I This morning's reflection is a little bit heavier one for me. It's interesting that as someone with so many control issues, speaking of myself, got into a career with so many unknowns, so many things that I can't control or um, fix or make how I want it to be. Um, the comparison, all the heavy topic, I guess the comparison would be the paradox I'd like to talk about today. Is well expressed in a popular Disney film, Frozen 2. So I apologize for I'm not a big liker of the Disney comparisons, but it's a quick and easy one, I guess. So there's a song in the movie that talks about going into the unknown, and I feel like that's really every day, right? As a parent, especially when we are have children who have extra struggles due to learning differences or um, emotional intensity or how they perceive the world or trauma or attachment, whatever it might be. Every day is into the unknown. You don't exactly know what's going to happen. Um, you don't always know what to do, and you have days when you think everything's great and you're feeling on top of the world and things are better, and then you have a day that blasts you, that makes you, wonder what you're doing, and makes you really think about um, your parenting and doubt yourself. And there's another part of the um, movie that talks about basically just doing when you hit a crossroad and you hit an unknown place, just doing the next right thing. Um, the paradox, as I see it, ultimately is we have to be able to let go. We can't control people. Um, every decision we make has potential consequences, right? Has potential negatives, and there is no perfect path for any of our children, for the kids that we work with. Unintended consequences is a good term. And also, we take certain paths that have unintended consequences and may seem like a great decision. So that's one side, right? Is this unknown? You can't have the answers. You can't control people. You can't fix. You can't, or you can make people comply, but it's not really going to get you what you want. There's unintended consequences to that. And then there's this other side, right, where we're supposed to do everything we can, like research, learn, practice. There's ways of intervening, so much that we can do in their lives. And if we get caught up in just living that's the only thing we live, we'll turn into control freaks, right? Because we'll think we'll be able to fix everything, control everything. That that there is a fix, there is a way to manage and control everything. And if we get trapped in the unknown side, right, the side that says, well, there's nothing, then we do nothing. We say, well, there's nothing I can do, and we get lost in the pattern of feeling like we're at the mercy of their choices and options. Again, as I defined paradox in the past, it's just a situation where there is no answer. There is no one way, right? There is no absolute solution, even though we'd like to have one. And it's so challenging living within that paradox. it's easy to get stuck in a control mode. It's miserable when you're stuck in a control mode. It's easy to get stuck in the, oh well, there's nothing I can do mode, and feel like, I'm trapped, and there's no say that I have at all. Also miserable. So, uh, although challenging to live within the paradox, we know the misery that comes from living in either side by itself. And so we just keep fighting, right? We keep waking up every day and trying to fight to live within that paradox, learning as much as we can, practicing skills, intervening in the lives of those that we care about, in the students that we work with, in our with our children, and what can we have, right? What helps us to live within that paradox, right? What are some of the things that really give us fortitude? For me, it's trusting people, trusting their goodness, despite what it looks like, not listening to the words so much. I think we can easily get trapped in the words. You have to see past the words, right, into the person. Trying to drill down either with them or without them. Sometimes they can't do it. Sometimes they can't go with us down that path of understanding what's going on. And at those times we have to look from through a different lens, and to really understand what's going on for them. Really just erasing from our minds that there's some kind of destination, there's some kind of end. I think we'd like it. It'd be beautiful. It isn't. Even if we feel like there is, or there happens to be for a moment, circumstances will change, contexts are different. And the more that we can be comfortable with that, the more that they can. I think just learning, I think getting excited about learning, but just making sure you temper it every time you do. To know, once again, there is no fix, there's no absolute, but just getting excited about learning can be another anchor point. Talking to people, trusting. I think that we get confused that trusting other people means that we think that they have all the answers and they're going to give us some, fix, but it's not that kind of trust. It's a trust that together, with other people united, that together we can find pathways that are more effective, not fixes, but pathways that are more effective than others. And we just do, let's get the next best right thing. The other anchor I find is, I'm trying to get better at it. It's hard for me, is to really just let go of the idea that, I have the answers. And when I make what would look like a mistake, to try and not see it like a mistake. Mistake would mean that I knew exactly what would happen and I could control it, and I chose otherwise, versus I tried my best and made a call, a decision that was to the best of my current knowledge and emotional abilities. And if it didn't work, it just means to reassess, to live in the world of experimentation ultimately. And we hate that idea when it comes to our own children, but that's really a lot of what we're doing is just experimenting, right? Trying whatever we can with good, within good ethical parameters and sound parental and clinical judgment, and making those decisions. So we move forward. We get excited, we get depressed, we go up, we go down. Allow ourselves to go on that. A lot of people say we'll jump off the roller coaster. I said, well, isn't life about hopefully roller coasters? Ups and downs, highs and lows, exciting, struggling, and learning to do our best as we press forward with these amazing human beings that we get to work with, because they are amazing, and we got to see them for that. Even when they're yelling at us, even when they're doing the same thing for the 10,000th time. Be anchored in their, in not just trusting them, but be anchored in their amazingness and who they are, and to never give up. So as it keeps us going, and to love what we do, to allow ourselves to feel. Hope is an interesting thing. If you look at Viktor Frankl, and he talks about how the hope of we'll be out by Christmas is a death sentence. That there's some kind of end, some kind of, once again, fix. But the hope that there's always something we can do, there's always some way to intervene, there's always some path that we're not seeing, that we can keep fighting that fight. And if in the end of the day, sometimes, some moments, the only path really is just to love, then we do that, right? And but then we never give up, and we always fight, move forward, do the next right thing, and live within the paradox that is, this amazing work of parenting and therapying. It's not a word, but keep pressing forward and never give up. Love your kids; they're amazing. So fun last night, just watching them laugh and have fun around the campfire, right? Just cooking their food, making jokes, being silly, being kids. And those are the moments we cherish, we hold on to, right? When we know that the next day may not look quite as enjoyable, but it's okay to enjoy it while you have it. And to keep fighting to intervene in their lives. So appreciate you. Thanks for your trust. Thanks for all you do as parents, and sacrifices you make, and thanks for everything, and have a wonderful week.